Happy Pride Month, everyone! Always be proud to be who you are and know that even in the most difficult of times, this puppy loves you very much. Whichever part of the beautiful, wonderful, and wonderful rainbow you identify as, you and your experiences are valid and you are loved. Oh wait, it's August, not June. Sorry, had kind of a fight or flight reaction there. Well, when I see rainbow, I just want to express how much I love everyone. Look, it may be a corny joke for an intro of the video, but if nothing else, I promise, I do mean what I said. Anyway, to keep the focus of this on Kirby before I get too lost in the sauce, this is yet another video in yet another series on this channel where I rank and ramble on every Kirby any percent speedrun. Check out the playlist for every video. I am uploading these daily, yada yada yada. Before we move on, speaking of Pride Month, a philosophical update on a historical event. My arch nemesis, Captain Stitch, was caught on film saying the following: "Claire's transgender? More like Claire's trans loser." I've been called much worse, don't worry, I'll be fine. But of all people, Deputy Pup is not taking this very well. She wrote me a letter of all things saying she's very conflicted. Does she side with the law and take me down for nothing, to be frank? Or does she side with anarchy, baby? Or does she side with what's right and call out Captain Stitch? We need to show her which side of history is correct, and the best way to do that is to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Maybe even go the extra mile and become a Puptrin on Patreon, or join as a mempup on YouTube for nifty perks like early access to all of the Kirby Month speedrun ranking videos. Special thanks to my head-patting, Fluffle fan, Puptrins and Mempups, Lydia Scribe, Freakish Uproar, and Vilafar. I love you all! Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, shocker, is fun. Not a lot of people have played this one, and it's a real shame. Not only is this a super looker of a game, but if you know what you're doing, you can zoom through these levels at pretty great speeds. And I'm not just talking about speedrunning, I'm just talking about drawing this little baby line here and making Kirby go whee! Which, hey, that's actually what any percent does, so it is speedrunning, I guess there's that. It helps that Rainbow Curse has some huge levels. Of course, if the movement was slow, it'd be a problem, but as long as you don't charge into enemies, it's really easy to keep the pace going. And yeah, charging into enemies is all part of the fun. Or it was in Canvas Curse. They gutted that in Rainbow Curse. Makes me very sad. But hey, look how fast this little Kirby can go. Combat, in the heaviest of air quotes here, may not be the best, but movement is pretty great. And isn't that what matters? There is a comment section down there if you want to let me know what you think. The best part of all of this, though, this isn't even the speedrun that we're talking about today. But Claire, you ask, fingers trembling on every individual key of your keyboard. You told us, promised us, that you'd be ranking the any percent of Kirby. Are you lying to us? And to that I say, I have lied in the past, so why would you be surprised? But also, no, I said I'd rank the any percents, and I'm here to do that, dang it. But there is one little catch, one itty bitty little catch that changes everything and makes Kirby and the Rainbow Curse maybe the funniest speedrun in the series. The footage you've been watching at this point is for an any percent speedrun, but the footage that you're going to be watching for the rest of the video is secret classified pup formation under the anarchy of pup. This run is suboptimal, and in this official speedrun.com validated any percent category, well, check out the footage. This is the true any percent of Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. What you were watching earlier is any percent no level skips. The full all-out any percent, which is my preferred of the two and the one I'm ranking in the series, is something special. To those who don't know, you can skip levels in Rainbow Curse. How? Well, adjust glasses that I'm not actually wearing right now. You skip levels in this game by dying. Yep, the devs figured Kirby and the Rainbow Curse for the Wii U would be too difficult for the kids, so they decided, hey, if you die 4 times and want to give up, go ahead and give up. Just skip ahead and no repercussions, none at all. It's actually insane. Seeing this in action for the first time is an unbelievable experience. And yes, for what is basically the entire speedrun, you are having Kirby repeatedly, frequently, oftenly, allottingly, poppingly killing Kirby. It is intensely morbid, and you will see the game over screen several times. On the bright side, Rainbow Curse does have the cutest game over screen in the series, and while the cutest part of it, wholesome snuggly time, requires you to say no on the game over screen, meaning you'll never see it. Actually, I've got nothing. That kind of blows. I want cute snuggles to be optimal, dang it! Oh, I guess the rest of the game over screen is actually super cute too, so that's nice. I will admit that despite my genuine love for this category, because it's really funny, it does trade a lot of the variety and coolness of the level skipless any percent. As it is, Rainbow Curse didn't sell very well, and it was on the Wii U of all things, so not a lot of people really know about it. In fact, many people say that it's not a good game. Oh no. I like Rainbow Curse a lot, and it's definitely one of my favorite Wii U games. Being able to show off a lot of the cool tech this game has to offer definitely helps open people's eyes to a truly underrated Kirby gem. But when you're having Kirby go, and the game going do, and the lives counter going chiddling, that actually wasn't very good. It makes the game look a lot worse than it actually is. But just because the game didn't sell very well doesn't mean this isn't one of the funniest speedruns I've ever seen. You seriously cannot tell me that the routing, the optimizing, and executing executing. That's actually like a genuinely really good pun for once. Wow. Your game plan and getting Kirby to die at fast pup speeds doesn't at least make you chuckle. Me, I laugh every time I think about it, especially as a speedrunner of so many other Kirby games. In fact, of all things, it kind of reminds me of Fire Emblem Draft Racing, where I and a small group of others pioneered the idea that killing your own units can help save time in the game. And Rainbow Curse doesn't even have permadeath, and I'm digging this. It's so funny. I love it so much. Now, if it was as simple as repeatedly bash against the first enemy you see every time, I don't think I'd be as gung-ho about this as I am now. That would get really boring really fast. Like Kirby Slide. The meme's not funny, people. Meme this category instead. Anyway, to totally backfire on what I just said, it's actually really fun when the enemy who can kill you shows up right away. If it's easy, then you get to challenge yourself to see how quickly you can kill Kirby. If it's hard, then, well, there you go. There's an inherent challenge of the enemy and Kirby working together to keep Kirby alive as you try your best to hurt Kirby as quickly as you can and ruin their plans. And don't worry, I made that sound a lot more morbid than it actually is. Wait, not really. And trust me, these deaths can get tough. Most, if not all, of the time you want to get to an enemy quickly, but you kind of can't, given that charging into them, something that doesn't even feel that good to begin with, will knock them out in one hit. Yeah, not only does knocking out enemies feel bad, but it's also a run killer. There are ways to quickly get to enemies that don't involve doing the zoomy, but going the zoomy. A word of advice, though, from your favorite, I better be speedrunning puppy. Your best friend in this run isn't going to be Alean. It's not going to be Bandana D, even though he has his uses for sure. It's not even going to be me, even though the dog is man's best friend. No, you are going to leave this run loving Gordos. If you somehow don't know what Gordos are. Whoa, suddenly aggressive puppy. Wowza. All you need to know about them is that they have spikes, which remind me of Needle Kirby, and I love Needle Kirby, and they can't die no matter what you do to them. Yes, there are exceptions. No, we don't talk about them. Besides, since we're talking about Rainbow Curse, nothing can kill them in this game, so you can dash into them as much as you like, as quickly as you like. They don't even move around, so once you're in their sights, there is nothing they can do. Their life is not forfeit, but Kirby's? Yeah, there sure is. So all in all, how much time does constantly dying save compared to a regular, no death, skipping any percent run? Is it worth doing all of this to poor Kirby just for a few minutes a time save? I mean, if it saves a microsecond, then it's worth it. But thankfully, Kirby isn't taking this abuse for nothing. Check out these stats. Adjust glass. Oh my god, these are huge. Anyway, the slowest time on SRC, or speedrun.com, is about 76 minutes. My first casual playthrough did wind up taking much longer than that, so there you go. Without the death skips, the current world record is held by the legend himself, Wakaza, at around 88 minutes. Yeah, the best run for death skipless any percent is over 10 minutes slower than the longest run for death skipless any percent. And the world record for is only about a couple seconds over 50 minutes, so yeah. One final thing before we sing our speedrunning tip song, on the topic of music too. Wow, I'm on a roll today. If you ever attempt this run yourself, you will be hearing the Lose a Life track a lot. Like, a lot. I don't find this a bad thing at all. Rainbow Curse has one of my favorite soundtracks in the entire series, and I always like the little oopsie that plays when you run out of health. If you don't, though, you might want to have maybe something playing in the background instead. May I suggest the Rainbow Curse soundtrack? I promise, it's really, really good. And now it's time for Fluffle Fans. It's Klaire Fluffle's speedrunning tip of the day. Yay! For Rainbow Curse, well, you die a lot in this run. The continue button on the game over screen is on the left side. The continue to the next stage prompt is on the right side, and the continue to the next stage prompt on the game over screen is on the bottom center. That's pretty quirky. Oh, actually, holy moly. Okay. In Dig and Dash, or level 2-1, you can ignore the whole level without having to die a single time, but just going over it. You can do this as solo Kirby, or make it easier with Bandanity. I did it with solo Kirby for the footage, and yeah. Whoops. I say this a lot, and I also say that I say this a lot, but if there is one thing that I want you all to know is that speedrunning is hilarious. The measures needed to clear a game quickly oftentimes can be stressful, they're intense, anything like that, but actually describing them and seeing them in motion usually always lands somewhere on the really amazing to really hilarious scale. And while I don't want to discredit Rainbow Curse's any percent too much, or any percent no level skips because that run is hype too, it definitely lands on the really, really funny side. And if you've watched enough of my videos, streams, or heck, you just watched this one, you know how much I love some good silly laughs. Of course, I have other videos to bring the good silly laughs too, so I will get to work on those. I have been Klaire, thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you around. Bye-bye!